In this problem, we have to find the domain of the function y is equal to under root sine inverse log 2x. Okay. So because of under root, we will be having the condition that sine inverse log 2x should be greater than equal to 0 always. Okay. And you already know that sine inverse cannot go till infinity because sine inverse range always lie between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 close interval. So we have to keep an upper limit of pi by 2. Okay. Now sine is increasing from 0 to pi by 2. So once we take sine, you will get here sine 0. Here you will get log 2x and here you will get sine pi by 2. Because we have this property that sine of sine inverse theta equals theta. Okay. Now sine 0 is 0. Log 2x is always less than equal to sine pi by 2 is 1. Now log 2 is also an increasing graph. So once you remove log 2, you will be writing 2 raised to the power 0 x 2 raised to the power 1, and hence x should belongs to close 1 to 2. Is this clear? So the domain of this problem will be close 1 to 2. Hence the answer of this problem is option A. In this problem, we have to find the domain of the function sine inverse 2 minus 3 greatest integer x by 4. Okay. So we can write this term as 2 minus 3 greatest integer x by 4 should lie between minus 1 to 1, because sine inverse x is defined only if x is from minus 1 to 1. Okay. So the inside term of sine inverse should lie from minus 1 to 1. Now 4 is a positive term, so you can multiply with 4 on both the sides. So inequality won't change. Now you can subtract 2 also. So minus 6 is less than minus 3 greatest integer x is less than 2. Is this okay? I have subtracted 2 from both the sides. Okay, now we should multiply it with negative sign. So we will have 6, we'll just write 2 on the left hand side. So if you multiply with negative, you will get here minus 2, which will be less than 3 greatest integer x, which will be less than 6. Is this clear? I have multiplied with negative 1 and changed the sign of the inequality. Now greatest integer should always be greater than minus 2 by 3 and less than equal to 2. Okay, so now we can break this inequality into two parts, that minus 2 by 3 is always less than greatest integer x, intersection greatest integer x should be less than equal to 2. Okay, so because greatest integer is an integral value always, the output of greatest integer x is always integer, so we can write this term as, from this greatest integer is greater than minus 2 by 3, so it means that greatest integer should be greater than equal to 0, intersection greatest integer x is less than equal to 2. Okay, so from here we will have the condition that x should be greater than equal to 0. Why? Because suppose if you take x as minus 0.1, so the greatest integer will be minus 1, and that won't be greater than equal to 0. Okay, if you take x as 0 and greater than 0 value, greatest integer x will either be 0 or more than 0. Similarly, if greatest integer x is less than equal to 2, it means x should be less than 3, because for any value less than 3, the greatest integer is equal to 2. Equality is also there. Okay, also x cannot be equal to 3, because if x equal to 3, greatest integer x will be equal to 3 and it won't be less than equal to 2. Okay, so we will have final answer as close 0 to 3 open. Is this clear? So the option for this will be option C. In this problem, we have to find the range of the function y is equal to 1 plus secant inverse x into 1 plus cos inverse x. Okay. Now first let's try to check the domain. So the domain for cos inverse x is closed interval minus 1 to 1. But for secant inverse x's domain is minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. So for complete function to be defined, you have to take the intersection of these two. So the final domain will be, once you take the intersection, is minus 1 comma 1. Is this clear? Because cos inverse x has, if you take on the number line, cos inverse x has domain from close minus 1 to 1. Okay, and secant inverse x has from minus infinity to minus 1 union close 1 to infinity. So the common intersection of these two functions are minus 1 and 1 values only. Okay, so in the domain we will have only two values which are minus 1 and 1. Now for finding range, so f of minus 1 will give us one value and f of 1 will give us one value. So f of minus 1 will be 1 plus pi, secant inverse of minus 1 is pi, and 1 plus pi again. So this will be 1 plus pi raised to the power 2. Okay. And similarly for f of 1, you will have 1 plus secant inverse 1, which is 0, and 1 plus cos inverse, which is again 0. So this will be 1. So we will have in the range 2 values only. So the answer for this problem will be y belongs to curly bracket 1 comma 1 plus pi raised to the power 2. Okay. So we will have C as our answer. In this problem, we have to find the domain of the function sin inverse x minus 3 by 2 plus log 4 minus x with base 10. Okay. So for sin inverse x to be defined, we will have x minus 3 by 2 lying from minus 1 to 1. Intersection, because both these functions are added, 4 minus x should be greater than 0. Okay. So you will have x minus 3 from minus 2 to 2, because 2 is a positive term. You will add 3 now. You will have from 1 to 5. Intersection here, x is less than 4. So now you have to take the intersection of these two terms. So the first condition is saying that we have x from close 1 to 5. Okay, so this is our first condition, and we have to take it intersection with the other one, which is x less than 4. So x less than 4 will be open at 4. So once you take the intersection, we will have our final answer as close 1 4 open. Okay. Okay, so the final answer for this will be close 1 4 open, which is option C. I hope it is clear. In this problem, we have to find the value of x if sin inverse x plus sin inverse 1 minus x is equal to cos inverse x is given. Okay, so there are two ways to do it. First, you have the option, you just try to put them and cross check whether left hand side is equal to right hand side. But if you want to learn how to solve these equations, you should solve it completely. So I'll just use the formula sin inverse a plus sin inverse b, which is sin inverse a under root 1 minus b square plus b under root 1 minus a square. Obviously there are conditions on a and b that a and b are positive and a square plus b square is less than equal to 0. But solving ITF equations, what you can do is you just directly solve the equation, okay, using any formula whichever is applicable. And once you have the values of x, try to put them in parent equation and cross check. So let's do that. If I apply on the left hand side, we will get sin inverse x under root of 1 minus x raised to the power 2 plus 1 minus x under root of 1 minus x square, and on this side also if we convert, you will get sin inverse of under root of 1 minus x square. Okay, using triangle. So from both the side we can cancel sin inverse. So we will be left with x into under root of, this term will be 1 minus 1 plus x square minus 2x. Okay. Plus 1 minus x into under root of 1 minus x square, and this term will also be equal to under root of 1 minus x square. So we'll be having x under root of 2x minus x square. Okay, and if you take this term on the right hand side, you will get x under root 1 minus x square, because it will go that side and become x minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so clearly we have one root, x is equal to 0, or we have under root of 2x minus x square is equal to under root of 1 minus x square. Now squaring both sides, we will get 2x is equal to 1, that is x is equal to half. Now what we will do is, because we have not put the condition on the domain, we'll just put these values in the parent equation and try to check whether these satisfy or not. So once I put x equal to 0 on left hand side, what we will get is sin inverse of 0 is 0, sin inverse of 1 is pi by 2, and on right hand side cos inverse of 0 is pi by 2. So once you put half, so at x is equal to half, sin inverse half is 30, which is pi by 6 plus pi by 6, and cos inverse of half is 60, so it is pi by 3, which is also true, and hence the answer for this problem will be option C. I hope you are clear with this. If x, y, z are in AP and tan inverse x, tan inverse y, tan inverse z are also in AP, then we have to find the ratio between x, y and z. Okay, because x, y, z are in AP, so we can write x plus z is equal to 2y. Also tan inverse x, tan inverse y and tan inverse z are in AP, so we can write tan inverse x plus tan inverse z is 2 tan inverse y. Okay, so let's try to simplify this term. So once you simplify, you will be getting tan inverse x plus tan inverse z can be written as a formula of tan inverse x plus z upon 1 minus xz, and 2 tan inverse y can be written as tan inverse of 2y upon 1 minus y square. Okay, so we'll cancel tan inverse from both the sides, so we will have x plus z upon 1 minus xz is equal to 2y upon 1 minus y square, because x plus z is equal to 2y. So either we will have the condition that x plus z is equal to 2y is equal to 0, or by taking the common factor 1 minus xz is equal to 1 minus y square. So from here we will have xz is equal to y square. Okay, so if we'll keep y equal to 0, as such nothing is given about y equal to 0, so we'll just skip this part. Okay, because y is equal to 0. If you will take y equal to 0, everything in this particular relation, x will be equal to 0, y will also be equal to 0, and z will also be equal to 0. So all the conditions will be applicable. So we will skip this part, we won't use it. Now because xz is equal to y square, and we have this condition x plus z is equal to 2y. Okay, so just scaling both sides, what we will get is, we have to find the relation between x, y and z. Okay, you can see like that also. Actually we have to find the ratio, so we'll just try to find x in terms of y or z in terms of y. So if you scale both sides, you will get x square plus z square plus 2xz is equal to 4y square, and 4y square is 4xz. Okay, so we will have this condition x square plus z square minus 2xz is equal to 0, and simplifying this we will get x minus z whole square equal to 0. So x is equal to z. So when x is equal to z, if you put in x plus z is equal to 2y, you will have 2x is equal to 2y. It means x is equal to y also. So from these two we have final relation that x equal to y equal to z. So the ratio of all these three terms are 1:1:1. So the answer for this problem will be option A. In this problem we have to find the value of x if sine inverse x by 5 plus cosecant inverse 5 by 4 is equal to pi by 2. Okay, so we already know that sine inverse of theta plus cos inverse of theta is equal to pi by 2, where theta belongs to close -1 to 1. Okay, so we have sine inverse x by 5 plus cosecant inverse. Can we convert cosecant inverse into cos inverse? So we'll just make a triangle. Okay, and cosecant inverse is 5 by 4. Cosecant inverse of 5 by 4 can be written as sine inverse of 4 by 5. So this value will be 3, this side will be 3. So we can write this as cos inverse of 3 by 5 is equal to pi by 2. We already know that sine inverse theta plus cos inverse theta is pi by 2. It implies x by 5 is equal to 3 by 5. So the value of x will be equal to 3. Is this clear? So the answer for this problem is option B. If tan inverse x by pi is less than pi by 3, where x belongs to natural number, we have to find the maximum value of x. Okay, we already know the range of tan inverse is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open interval. So it is less than pi by 3, it means it should be greater than minus pi by 2, because the range of tan inverse x is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open interval. Now tan is an increasing graph, and tan x is an increasing graph from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So we'll take tan on both the sides. So we'll get minus infinity here, x by pi here. Tan of pi by 3 is tan 60, which is root 3. So x will vary from, if you multiply with pi, it will vary from minus infinity to pi root 3. Okay, so we need to find the maximum value of x. So maximum value of x will be, because x is a natural number, will be equal to greatest integer of pi root 3. Okay, so pi root 3 will be 3.14 into 1.732. Okay, so we'll just consider it as 1.73. So on multiplication you will get roughly this as 5.4. So the greatest integer will be 5. So the maximum value of x possible in this particular problem is 5. So the answer is B. In this problem we have to evaluate this expression where alpha is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So let's consider tan alpha is equal to t here. If tan alpha is equal to t, we can write sine 2 alpha as 2t upon 1 plus t square, and cos 2 alpha as 1 minus t square upon 1 plus t square. Okay, so our expression now will become tan inverse of 3 into sine 2 alpha can be written as 2t upon 1 plus t square, 5 plus 3 times of 1 minus t square upon 1 plus t square. Okay, plus tan inverse of tan alpha by 4 can be written as t by 4. Okay, so on simplification we will get tan inverse of 3 into 2t will be 60, 1 plus t square can be cancelled out in the denominator, so it will become 5 plus 3 8 plus 2t square plus tan inverse of t by 4. As such, we don't know any condition on tan inverse t tan inverse t by 4 or tan inverse of 60 upon 8 plus 2t square, so we will just directly apply the formula. So this will be tan inverse of a plus b, which is 60. You can just cancel 2 from both the terms, 3t from numerator as well as denominator, so 3t divided by t square plus 4 plus t by 4 upon 1 minus 3t t square plus 4 into t by 4. Okay, so this term will simplify now to tan inverse of, once you take LCM, you will get 12t plus t cube plus 4t. In the denominator it will be 4t square plus 16 minus 3t square. Okay, so we will have now tan inverse of t cube plus 16t. In the denominator we will have t square plus 16. So if you see carefully, you have t coming out to be common in the numerator, and t square plus 16 will cancel out. Okay, so we are left with tan inverse of t, which is tan inverse of tan alpha, and alpha is already given in the problem as minus pi by 2 to alpha to pi by 2, which is in principal value branch, and hence the answer for this problem will be alpha. Let's see which option it is. It is option C. So the answer for this problem is option C. In this problem we have to evaluate this expression. So let's there are 3 terms. Let's solve these terms individually first. So first term is cos inverse of 1 by root 3 plus cos inverse of 1 by root 6 whole negative. Okay, so we already know the formula of cos inverse A plus cos inverse B, so we'll just apply that formula. So it will be cos inverse of A into B minus under root of 1 minus 1 by root 3 whole square, which is 1 by 3, 1 minus 1 by 6. So cos inverse of A plus cos inverse of B has formula cos inverse of AB minus under root 1 minus A square under root 1 minus B square. So I applied that. Now we will have this value as cos inverse of 1 by root 3 into root 6 will be 3 root 2, minus in the numerator we will have root 2 root 5 divided by 3 root 2. Okay, so root 2 root 5 will give us the value cos inverse of negative of root 10 minus 1 divided by 3 root 2. Okay, so we also know the formula that cos inverse of minus x is same as pi minus cos inverse x. So our this term will be equivalent to minus of pi minus cos inverse of root 10 minus 1 by 3 root 2. So now let's put this value in the expression. So we will have minus pi plus cos inverse of root 10 minus 1 divided by 3 root 2. Okay, this is our the value of the first term. Then the negative of this term is already there, minus of cos inverse root 10 minus 1 by 3 root 2. Okay, then we have plus 4 cot inverse 1, and 4 times of cot inverse 1 is pi by 4, cot inverse of 1 is pi by 4. Okay, so this term will cancel out with this term, and minus pi will cancel out with plus pi. So we will have the final answer as 0. So the expression is giving us a value of 0. So the answer for this problem will be option A. We have to find the value of this expression, which is sin inverse cot of sin inverse under root of 2 minus root 3 by 4 plus cos inverse root 12 by 4 plus secant inverse of root 2. Okay, so let's first try to find the value of individual terms, which is 2 minus root 3 divided by 4. Let's try to simplify this and convert it into tan inverse, because right now we don't know the value in terms of sin inverse, but if we try it in converting into tan inverse, we might be knowing the value of this term. Okay, so if I'll consider a triangle with this side as 2 minus root 3 and under root of 4 will be 2, so hypotenuse will be 2. Okay, and we can calculate the base as under root of hypotenuse square minus perpendicular square, which will give us 4 minus 2 minus root 3. So this term will be 2 plus root 3. Okay, so I can write this term as tan inverse of under root of 2 minus root 3 divided by under root of 2 plus root 3. So we can rationalize this also. So tan inverse of under root of 2 minus root 3 into 2 minus root 3 upon 2 plus root 3 into 2 minus root 3. Okay, so once upon rationalization we will get tan inverse of 2 minus root 3. Now we know the value of this. Tan inverse of 2 minus root 3 is 15 degrees, which is pi by 12 radians. Okay, so the first value of sine inverse under root 2 minus root 3 by 4 term is pi by 12. Now the next term is cos inverse of root 12 by 4, and this can be written as cos inverse of root 3 by 2, which is pi by 6. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Okay, now next term is secant inverse root 2. Because the inside term is positive, you can write this as 1 by root 2, which is pi by 4 only. Okay, so we already find out all the angles which are involved in this term. So let's now simplify it. Sine inverse cot of, we have the first angle as pi by 12. Okay, pi by 12 plus pi by 6 plus pi by 4. Now if we take LCM, we will get sine inverse of cot of, we have 12 as LCM, pi plus 2 pi plus 3 pi. So this value is becoming sine inverse of cot of 6 pi by 12, which is cot of pi by 2. Now cot of pi by 2 is 0, so sine inverse of 0 will give us 0. So the answer for this problem is 0. Let's see which option it is. It is option A. So the answer for this problem is option A. In this problem, cos inverse x minus cos inverse y by 2 is given as alpha, and we have to find the value of 4x square minus 4xy cos alpha plus y square equals to. Okay, so we can just apply the formula directly. So cos inverse of x minus cos inverse of y by 2 will be having formula x y by 2 plus under root of 1 minus x square under root of 1 minus y square by 4 is equal to alpha. Okay, so you can take now cos on the other side. We will get xy whole divided by 2 under root 1 minus x square under root of 4 minus y square whole divided by 2 is equal to cos alpha. So we will now have term xy plus under root 1 minus x square under root 4 minus y square. This will give us 2 cos alpha. Okay, now we have to remove this under root because we need to find the value of 4x square minus 4xy cos alpha plus y square. So what we can do is we can write this expression as, we'll just take this term on the right hand side. We will have under root 1 minus x square under root of 4 minus y square as 2 cos alpha minus xy. Now squaring both sides, we will get 1 minus x square into 4 minus y square is equal to 4 cos square alpha plus x square y square minus 4xy cos alpha. Okay, so on multiplication we will get 4 minus 4x square minus y square plus x square y square. This term is equivalent to 4 cos square alpha plus x square y square minus 4xy cos alpha. Now it is clear that x square y square terms are getting cancelled out. So we are left with, we'll just take these two terms on the right hand side. We are left with 4x square plus y square minus 4xy cos alpha, and on the right hand side I'll just shift this term on the left hand side and I'll wrote this term on the right hand side. So it will become 4 times of 1 minus cos square alpha, which is 4 sin square alpha. So this term is required to be calculated, which is 4x square minus 4xy cos alpha plus y square, and this is coming out to be 4 sin square alpha. Hence the answer for this problem is option C. If tan inverse x whole square plus cot inverse x whole square is 5 pi square by 8, we have to find the value of x. So this is a ITF equation problem. Okay, so let's consider tan inverse x as t. So if we consider tan inverse x as t, we will be having this value as t square plus pi by 2 minus t whole square is equal to 5 pi square by 8. Now this became a quadratic, so this will be t square plus pi square by 4 plus t square minus pi t is equal to 5 pi square divided by 8. Okay, on simplification we will get now 2t square, so this will be 2t square minus pi t, and this value will become 5 pi square by 8 minus 2 pi square by 8. Okay, now if we multiply with 8 on both the sides, we will get 16t square minus 8 pi t minus 3 pi square is equal to 0. Now this is a quadratic, we have to factorize this term. So we can write 16 as 4 into 4 into 3. So this will become 12 and 4. So we will write this term as 16t square minus 12 pi t plus 4 pi t minus 3 pi square is equal to 0. Okay, so you can take 4t common from here, will be left with 4t minus 3 pi plus t, you will just take pi common from here, will be left with 4t minus 3 pi. Okay, so we will have now 4t plus pi as one factor and 4t minus 3 pi as second factor. So we will have two values of t. One is t is equal to minus pi by 4 or t is equal to 3 pi by 4. Now our t was tan inverse x. So tan inverse x is either equal to minus pi by 4, which is possible, or tan inverse x is equal to 3 pi by 4, which is not possible because PVB of tan inverse x or range of tan inverse x is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open interval. 3 pi by 4 is greater than pi by 2. So x from here will be minus 1. Now in ITF, in inverse trigonometric equations, it is always required that you should put the value in the equation, in the parent equation, to cross check. So once we put tan inverse of, once we put x as minus 1 here, we will have tan inverse of minus 1 is pi by 4, so this will be pi square by 16, and cot inverse of minus 1 is 3 pi by 4, which is 9 pi square by 16. So addition will give us 10 pi square by 16, which is 5 pi square by 8, which is satisfying, and hence the answer for this problem is option A. Is it clear? This is also a problem of ITF equations. Okay, so for objective purposes you can just directly put the values and cross check, but right now we'll be solving it completely. So what we will do is, we have this equation 2 tan inverse of 2x plus 1 is equal to cos inverse x. Writing domain is an easy thing here, so we will just write domain. For tan inverse it should be x belongs to R. For cos inverse x it is for x belonging to closed interval minus 1 to 1. So intersection of both will give us domain as x belonging to closed interval minus 1 to 1. Okay, now what I will do is, for solving this problem, let's consider cos inverse x as theta. Okay, so obviously if I am considering cos inverse x as theta, so theta will lie from 0 to pi because it is PVB of cos inverse x. Okay, so now if we take theta from 0 to pi, so x will become cos theta. So now our equation will become 2 tan inverse of 2 cos theta plus 1 is equal to theta. Okay, now I can take 2 on the right hand side and we will just take tan after that. So 2 cos theta plus 1 will give us tan of theta by 2. Okay, so for solving this equation, now it became a trigonometric equation. Let's consider tan theta by 2 as t. So our equation now will become 2 times of 1 minus t square upon 1 plus t square plus 1, because cos theta in terms of tan theta by 2 can be written as 1 minus t square upon 1 plus t square. Okay, plus 1 is equal to t. Okay, now on solving this we will get 2 minus 2t square plus 1 plus t square is equal to t cube plus t. Okay, so finally we have the equation t cube plus t square plus t minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so obviously you can see it clearly here that t is equal to 1 is the root of this particular equation. So we'll just try to simplify by taking the common factor as t minus 1. So for that we'll just first write this term as t cube minus 1 plus t square minus 1 plus t minus 1. I hope you are clear on this. I have broken this 3 into 1 1 1. Okay, now we can take t minus 1 common. You are left with t square plus t plus 1 in the first term, t plus 1 in the second term, plus 1 in the third term. So you have either t is equal to 1 or t square plus 2t plus 3 is equal to 0. This term is always positive because its leading coefficient is 1 and its d is b square minus 4ac, which is a negative term. So this won't have real roots. This quadratic equation won't have real roots. So we have t is equal to 1. Now what was our t and what we need to find? We have to find actually x, which is cos theta, and t is, so we have value of t which is tan theta by 2, and we have to find x which is cos theta. Okay, so tan theta by 2 is 1, so cos theta is 1 minus t square upon 1 plus t square. So value of this will be 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus 1, which is 0. So x is 0 only, so 0 is the only solution for this problem. So let's see which option it is. Find the value of x, so it is D. So the answer for this problem is option D. I hope it is clear. In this problem we have to find the domain of this function. which is f of x is equal to under root of 1 minus sin x divided by log 5 1 minus 4x square, okay, plus cos inverse of 1 minus fraction x. Okay, so let's define each term individually, then we will take the intersection. Okay, so for under root of 1 minus sin x to be defined, we have to apply the condition 1 minus sin x should be greater than or equal to 0. This means sin x should be less than or equal to 1, which is true always, and hence x belongs to R will be the answer of this particular condition. Is it okay? 1 minus sin x should be greater than or equal to 0 because it is coming inside the under root, and from that we got sin x is less than or equal to 1, which is always true. Now for cos inverse 1 minus fraction x, okay, we need to check that whether 1 minus fraction x will lie between minus 1 to 1, because cos inverse x has domain for x belonging to closed interval minus 1 to 1. So for that we will just go the other way around. Fraction x we already know, the range of fraction x is from close 0 open 1. So minus fraction x will lie between minus 1 to 0. Okay, inequality will change because you have multiplied with negative sign. Now 1 minus fraction x will lie between 0 to 1. Okay, and for that cos inverse is already defined, because 1 minus fraction x, this term is lying between open 0 to close 1, for which cos inverse is always defined. Okay, so it means for all x belongs to R, fraction x lie between close 0 to open 1, and cos inverse of 1 minus fraction x will be defined. So for cos inverse 1 minus fraction x also, the domain is x belongs to R. Now we have the function left is 1 by log 5, because it is in the denominator, so I am writing 1 minus 1 divided by log of 1 minus 4x square with base 5. Okay, so we have this condition that 1 minus 4x square, this should be greater than 0 because it is inside log. And secondly, log 5 1 minus 4x square should not be equal to 0, because in the denominator the term cannot be equal to 0. So from here we have 4x square minus 1 is less than 0. It means we have two factors, x minus half, x plus half is less than 0. So we got the values of x from minus half to half. Okay, so this is one condition. Here we have 1 minus 4x square should not be equal to 1. It means x should not be equal to 0. So this is our other condition. So finally we have the conditions. This is our A condition because of sine under root of 1 minus sin x, B condition because of cos inverse, this is our C condition, and this is our D condition. So taking intersection of all, we will have minus half to x to half minus 0. Okay, so we can write this condition as minus half to 0 union 0 to half, either this way, or you can write this as minus half to half minus 0. So let's see which option it is. Minus half to half open interval. Okay, so this is option B. So the domain of this problem is given in option B. In this problem we have to find the values of x satisfying this particular equation. Now you might be knowing about the function cos inverse of 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square and tan inverse of 2x upon 1 minus x square. We have drawn the graph of those two functions. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will be converting these functions into that only. So I will just take negative common from here. So it will become 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square plus tan inverse of minus 2x upon 1 minus x square. Okay, this is equal to 2 pi by 3. Now we can easily apply the formula, because cos inverse of minus theta is pi minus cos inverse theta. So I can write this as pi minus cos inverse of 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square. Tan inverse of minus theta is minus tan inverse theta. So minus tan inverse of 2x upon 1 minus x square is equal to 2 pi by 3. So we'll just take these terms on, we'll just make these terms positive. So we will get cos inverse of 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square plus tan inverse of 2x upon 1 minus x square. This will be equal to pi minus 2 pi by 3, which is pi by 3. So we have reduced our equation into the functions which we already know. Now let's try to solve this problem with the help of, there are two ways, either you can put x is equal to tan theta, or you can draw the graph of these two functions and simplify. Both of these two graphs are dependent on the graph of 2 tan inverse x. Okay, so I am drawing both the graphs. I'll just be drawing these two graphs one above the other, because then it will be easy for us to add both these functions. Okay, so for cos inverse 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square, the graph is like this. If you remember, its range is from 0 to pi. Okay, open interval, 0 close and pi open interval. Okay, so this on the right hand side for x greater than equal to 0, the function is 2 theta, which was 2 tan inverse x, and on the left hand side the function is minus 2 theta, which is minus 2 tan inverse x. Okay, now let's draw the graph of tan inverse 2x upon 1 minus x square. This is also dependent on 2 tan inverse x, but its range will be lying between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open interval, and the domain is r minus minus 1 and plus 1. So this will be pi by 2 and this will be minus pi by 2 and 0. Okay, so this is 1 and this is minus 1, which are not in the domain. So from minus 1 to 1 it is 2 tan inverse x, which is of this shape. Okay, so this is 2 theta. Okay, ahead of this the graph was going like this, and we have put it in the principal value branch by subtracting pi, so it will become like this. So this function is 2 theta minus pi, and here the function will be like this, which is 2 theta plus pi. 2 theta here again, this is 2 tan inverse x plus pi. Similarly here also it is 2 tan inverse x minus pi and 2 tan inverse x. So obviously the function is not defined in 1 and minus 1, those won't be in the answer. Okay, so we have to now add these two functions. So I'll just be adding these two in the intervals. For x less than minus 1, if you see the function is minus the equation was equal to pi by 3 also. Okay, so once you add, you will write on the left hand side minus 2 theta plus 2 theta plus pi. This should be equal to pi by 3. Okay, so our equation for x less than minus 1 will be, because cos inverse of 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square will open up in minus 2 theta, and tan inverse will open up in 2 theta plus pi. So their sum will become pi is equal to pi by 3, which is not possible. It means there is no answer in the interval minus 1 x less than minus 1. So on the interval minus 1 to x to 1, we will have till 0 we have to break, because cos inverse is having like before 0 it is minus 2 theta and ahead of 0 it is 2 theta. So for minus 1 to x to 0, for this interval our cos inverse is opening up in minus 2 theta and our tan inverse is opening up in 2 theta, which should be equal to pi by 3, and this is also not possible. Okay, next move on to 0 to x to 1. Okay, considering 0 in both the terms, you can take in any interval, so I am just considering 0. So at 0 it is obviously 0, so it cannot be equal to pi by 3, so 0 won't come in the answer. From 0 to 1 we have both the functions opening up in 2 theta. This is equal to pi by 3, so it means 4 theta is equal to pi by 3, theta is equal to pi by 12. Okay, and what is our answer? We have put x is equal to tan theta in both these terms, so we have to find the value of x only. So theta was tan inverse x, which is pi by 12, so x will be 2 minus root 3, which already lies between 0 to 1, because 2 minus root 3 will be 2 minus 1.732. Okay, so this is already the answer. Now next interval is x is greater than 1. So for x greater than 1, we have the above function opening up in 2 theta. The next function is 2 theta minus pi, and this is equal to pi by 3. So we have 4 theta is equal to 4 pi by 3, theta is equal to pi by 3. So we have x is equal to tan theta is tan inverse x, so x is equal to tan pi by 3, which is root 3, which also is greater than 1. So the answer for this problem are two values of x. One is 2 minus root 3 and root 3. So A option is false, because it is writing the answer as 2 minus root 3 to 3. It means it is taking all the values from 2 minus root 3 to 3 in between also. Okay, so the correct answer for this problem is option B. I hope it is clear. In this problem we have to find the number of roots of the equation mod y is equal to cos x and y equal to cot inverse cot x from minus 3 pi by 2 to 5 pi by 2. Okay, so this problem is also based on graph, so we'll just draw the graph of these functions. First let's draw cot inverse cot x, because we already know cot inverse cot x has range from 0 to pi open interval, so we can easily draw it 0, pi, 2 pi and 3 pi, because 5 pi by 2 is ahead of 2 pi. Here we have minus pi and minus 2 pi. So till here we have to draw. In PVB, cot inverse cot x will open up in x, So the PVB is 0 to pi open interval. So the function will be like this. Because it is periodic with period pi, so now this function will repeat with period pi. Okay, so in this, so it's like this, both these points are above each other. Okay, so this is the graph of cot inverse cot x. So from this maroon color I have drawn the graph of cot inverse cot x. Okay, now I'll be drawing the other graph, which is mod y is equal to cos x. So mod y is equal to cos x. Mod y is equal to cos x will make it a relation. You have to first draw the graph of cos x, then remove its lower half, take mirror of upper into lower. Okay, so for that we already know that this is minus pi by 2, this is pi by 2, then here we have 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, here we have 5 pi by 2, and this is minus 3 pi by 2. So we know the graph of cos x. So graph of cos x is like this. So now what we need to do is, we need to take the graph of, we need to draw the graph of mod y is equal to cos x. So for that what you will do is, you will remove the lower half of the graph. Okay, so we'll just remove the lower half here and take the mirror of upper into lower. So this value was minus 3 pi by 2, so we'll use minus pi by 2, this was pi by 2. Okay, so we will now get the graph like this. Okay, because mod y has transformation, reject lower half, take mirror of upper into lower. So now we need to look at the interval from minus 3 pi by 2, which is this line, to 5 pi by 2, which is this line. Okay, so see the number of point of intersection of these two graphs. We have this intersection as 1, and then we have this intersection as 2. So the total number of roots for this particular problem is 2. So the answer for this problem is option B. I hope it is clear. In this problem we have to find the product of all real values of x satisfying this particular equation. So let's try to simplify first the left hand side, then we will go on to right hand side. Okay, so the left hand side is given as sine inverse of cos of 2x square plus 10 mod x plus 4 upon x square plus 5 mod x plus 3. Okay, so I can write this term as pi by 2 minus cos inverse of 2x square plus 10 mod x plus 4 upon x square plus 5 mod x plus 3. Now what we are stuck here with one problem, that cos inverse of cos theta open ups in theta if theta is in PVB. If theta is not in PVB, we have to draw the graph of cos inverse of cos theta. Okay, so we need to find the range of this term, which is 2x square plus 10x plus 4. We need to find the range of this term. So let's consider this term as t and let's try to find out the range. So I can write this term as 2x square plus 10 mod x plus 6 minus 2 upon x square plus 5 mod x plus 3, because 2x square plus 10 mod x plus 6 is a multiple of the denominator. So I can write this as 2 minus 2 upon x square plus 5 mod x plus 3. Okay, now let's try to calculate the range of x square plus 5 mod x plus 3. This expression is generated from the term x square plus 5x plus 3. If you replace x by mod x, you will get the term x square plus 5 mod x plus 3. Okay, so let's try to find the range of x square plus 5x plus 3. It's a upward parabola, so you can directly say that the graph will be like this. So let's try to find the vertex, which is minus b by 2a, and discriminant is d is 25 minus 12, which is 13, so minus d by 4a. Okay, so the vertex will be somewhere here, minus 5 by 2 minus 13 by 4 here. At 0 the value is 3, so the graph will be somewhat like this. Okay, now once you do the transformation of x to mod x, what will happen is you will just reject the left half and take mirror of right and left, so you will have a graph like this. Okay, reject the left half and take mirror of right and left. Okay, so according to this, now we have the range of this function x square plus 5 mod x plus 3 is always greater than or equal to 3 to infinity. Is this clear? Now I have to take the reciprocal. So once I take the reciprocal, we will be having x square plus 5x 5 mod x plus 3 from 0. Inequality will change to 1 by 3. Now you have to multiply it with minus 2 and then add 2. So once you multiply with minus 2, inequality will change again. So this will become minus 2 by 3 and this will become 0. Once you add 2, you will have the term t, and you will have 2 minus 2 by 3, which will be 4 by 3. Okay, so this term, the t term, is now our left hand side will become pi by 2 minus cos inverse of cos t, where t belongs to 4 by 3 to 2. Okay, now 4 by 3 to 2 is already lying between 0 to pi. It is already in principal value branch. Is this clear? 4 by 3 is greater than 0 and less than pi. 2 is also greater than 0 and less than pi. So both these values are between 0 and pi. So we can easily say that t is in principal value branch, and hence our left hand side will become pi by 2 minus t. Okay, now let's try to simplify the right hand side. Right hand side is cot of cot inverse of so cot of cot inverse, we already know cot of cot inverse of theta is actually equal to theta. Okay, so now we will have right hand side as theta plus pi by 2. Okay, so let's equate left hand side and right hand side and find the values of x. So now I have equated left hand side, we have opened left hand side as well as right hand side and equated these two. Okay, so now we have the equation pi by 2 minus 2 plus 2 upon x square plus 5 mod x plus 3. This is equal to 2 by 9 mod x minus 2 plus pi by 2. So if you see on both the sides, pi by 2 minus 2 and pi by 2 minus 2 will cancel out, and 2 and 2 will also cancel out. So we are left with the term x square plus 5 mod x plus 3 after cross multiplication is equal to 9 mod x. So we have the equation x square minus 4 mod x plus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so we have mod of x minus 3 into mod of x minus 1 as its factor. So you have the values of x as plus minus 3 and x as plus minus 1. We have to find the product of all these terms. So once you find the product of all these terms, x1, x2, x3, x4, you will get the product as 9. Okay, so for this particular problem, the answer is option D. I hope it is clear. One thing which I need not to check it here is that x cannot be equal to 0 because x equal to 0 is in the domain of this particular term. Okay, but for this term, the denominator is always positive, so there is no need to cross check the values which we got in the result as plus minus 1 and plus minus 3. So the answer for this problem is option D. In this problem, we have to evaluate the value of this expression. Now if you see, x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 and 1 minus x square minus 1 by x square are negative of each other. Okay, and we also know one thing, that x square plus 1 by x square is always greater than equal to 2. So x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 is always greater than equal to 1, because if t plus 1 by t is there, the range of t plus 1 by t is minus infinity to minus 2 close interval if t is negative, and 2 to infinity if t is positive. So x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 is always greater than equal to 1. Now for sine inverse, x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 should lie between minus 1 to 1 for sine inverse to be defined. Okay, now this expression is telling us that x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 is greater than equal to 1, and this expression is telling us that x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 should be less than equal to 1. So for both these expressions to hold, x square plus 1 by x square minus 1 should be equal to 1. Okay, so we got the value of x square plus 1 by x square as 2. Okay, this is the only possible value. So now we will have the answer as tan inverse of 1 minus 2 plus sine inverse of 2 minus 1. So tan inverse of minus 1 is minus pi by 4 plus sine inverse of 1 is pi by 2. So the answer for this problem is pi by 4, which is our option B, and hence the answer of this problem is option B.